You know how Harry Styles wore a dress? We're wearing women's tank tops.
And that's fine. And if you have something to say about
this, I don't know, make it go viral.
Why?
I don't know. Men wearing women's things
That's way
dresses.
Nobody cares anymore.
No? You're gonna do something funny or no?
Whoa!
Make me a bicycle clown.
Yeah, right.
Today we're gonna discuss the top 2025 fitness trends.
What are they?
As stated by the ACSM, the American College for Sports Medicine.
Nice.
Right?
Let's do it. Yeah. Yep. For sure.
So this is gonna be a fun one. What I want to do is discuss the trend. Like we'll go through like the top 10
and shit on it.
Well, we can. But we can say if it's legit, overhyped, or needs a little bit of context. So we'll like rate them.
Yeah, and I want people to know right off the bat, we're not against trends per se. We're just against BS.
Well, no, I think you're misunderstanding the word trend. This is like where the industry is heading, like what's hot, what's not, but not as far as like some random Instagram influencer type of thing.
I know, but still, like some of these things are like, take them with a grain of salt.
I know, because when you say I'm not against trends, like the trend just means people are doing more strength training now, or people are doing more yoga now.
Pilates.
Like it's not that the carnivore diet, like that's not
good. I'm glad we got that out of the way for them.
Exactly.
Obviously, I play the dumb role to appease the audience.
That's
everybody knows
strategy.
that.
One thing I want to do to preface this is that our goal here with this podcast, and today specifically, is all about practicality, right? It's like weaving through all the noise. Even though these are all trends, there's so many different things you could be doing. What is actually going to make a difference, move the needle in your life, in your busy life, where you have so many other things to worry about? So again, practicality is the name of the game here.
Got it. Speaking of kings,
it's a short king summer.
What do you guys classify as a short king? Comment in the things below. Comment in the comments below. What do you think a short king is? Under what?
A short king?
It's also short king spring.
Wow.
That's what we're in right now. What do you classify as a short king?
I would say it's like a confident, charismatic, short man.
You're answering the wrong question.
Oh.
Under what height does you classify as a short
okay.
king? I don't need the definition.
Honestly, people are brutal with the whole what's short. They say 5'8". I don't think 5'8" is short.
All right, what do you classify as a short king?
I mean, we make fun of our 5'8" friends because we're assholes.
Yeah, but we're assholes.
So like, what would you? I would say 5'7" and under.
Agreed. That's exactly what I was gonna say. 5'7" under short king spring, and we support our short kings.
We do support them.
We do support. We support. We don't make friends with anybody taller than us.
Nope. We do support.
No, that's not true. We have taller friends. We just don't hire people taller than us. We can't have that.
No. We need our confidence sky high in here.
Always. That's why we wear slutty tank tops.
Yep.
With that being said, guys, welcome back to another episode. With what being said, of the Beef It Brothers podcast. I'm Victor. And that's slutty guy right there is Julian, my alleged brother. We're here in Beef It Miami Lakes, in front of La Vaquita. And the buildings that are no longer getting destroyed. That was a rumor.
If at any point my underwear or one of my genitalia starts popping out, you let me know, okay? I want real slutty for this one.
I'm leaving that. If one of your genitalia pops out, I'm zooming.
Damn. Anywho.
Why would you get your car that color? It's a rose brown.
They're trying to be unique. Nobody else has this color. Yeah, because it sucks.
I think it was like we'll take 5,000 off.
All right, so remember, we're gonna go legit, overhyped, or needs context.
Okay.
Right? Number one, and by the way, this article came out in 2024. Every year, at the end of each year, the ACSM gets a group of researchers, practitioners, like legit people. It's not a random survey, and they ask them like, where do you see the industry going in this next year? So that's where we're getting this information from. So this is the top 10 in order. Okay, number one, wearable technology.
We got them. Are we dumb?
Use them. Well, we got them.
Did we fall for it?
So we're talking smartwatches, fitness trackers, recovery tools like Aura Ring, that kind of stuff.
What are the rings called again?
Aura. Yeah, one of my clients loves it.
Whoop.
I give her a shout out every podcast.
Stop. She doesn't listen.
I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna give it. So what do I think about it? I would say legit on this one.
Okay. Why?
I think because whatever makes you be more consistent, to me is a win. And for people, what I've noticed is whether it's turning on their workout when they start the workout, or seeing how much they've done in the past week, or with like in the case of these trackers, seeing how good your sleep was. For example, this client that I'm referring to, she cut back on alcohol significantly because she noticed that her sleep scores were much better when she wasn't drinking. And to me, that's a huge win. If the tracker is helping you make better choices about your life and your behavior, it's a big win in my eyes.
For sure. I just maybe like I'm always kind of cynical, and you guys know that by now.
No, I'm about to push back too, so go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you seen these bags? Like, I don't need a ring to tell me you slept bad. I wake up and I know I slept bad. I'm tired. Like, I slept like shit. I feel like I don't want you to be dictated by what the watch tells you or the ring tells you. Like, you woke up, oh, you didn't really sleep great. Damn, I guess I'm tired today. Like, I don't like that it forces that narrative on you. You know what I mean?
The other thing with that is what happened, what I call the dad dilemma, our dad, which is he knows so much. He's very studious, and he stresses him out so much about the fact that I'm not getting enough sleep. My sleep isn't good, that the stress is making him not sleep good. And I think that happens with these trackers and stuff.
100%.
And another pet peeve of mine is the whole calorie counting aspect of this.
I was going to say, what do you think of the fact that
I hate
they're
that.
wildly inaccurate?
Well, they're not only are they inaccurate, but this is a tangent that we're not going to go on, but you shouldn't be exercising for the sole purpose of seeing how many calories you burn. So what happens with these things, it's like you had an objectively awesome workout, and you look and you're like, oh, 185 calories, that's nothing. Oh, what a crappy workout, and you feel bad about yourself. So don't like guide yourself by the calories that you're burning in your workout.
It's like when you go to one of these places that have the calories and all that stuff like on a leaderboard, that's so nonsensical to me. Like, why would you put this person that's like, first of all, I don't like the idea of fitness as a competition for general fitness. If you want to do it for your own,
that's getting controversial early.
No, I'm saying if you want to do it, if you're a competitive person, you want to do those things, that's fine. But I don't think that you should be making other people feel bad because of what a little wearable technology tells you that you didn't burn as many calories as me.
Yeah, also a little thing that most people don't realize is that, like, for example, I'm just going to say it, Orange Theory, right?
Oh!
Here's what I'm going to say is that if you make two people do the same workout, the more out of shape person has to work harder to get that done. So it's going to show up as like, wow, you're putting in a lot of effort. Yeah. Your heart rate is really high and you're burning a lot of calories. Guess what? It's called being out of shape. So the more in shape you get, the more efficient your body becomes. But you're not continuing to chase that effort because you're going to burn yourself out or get injured if you keep doing that. I don't want to go down too deep of this.
Doesn't necessarily mean, let's say person A is in better shape than person B is higher on their quote unquote leaderboard. Doesn't mean person B had a better workout. And that's something that I think confuses people.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would say that, like, let's say you and I, for example, we've been training for 20 years. The goal in my workouts isn't to go as hard as I possibly could because I know better.
Sustainability.
Right? It's to get better and improve things over time and not hurt myself. So anyway, long tangent. I think for the most part, legit only because of I think this data is helping people, but can you go too far? Definitely.
That's why I would go with need context.
Context, yeah.
Because I don't know, I feel like people are overly relying on it. And they're like we said earlier, they're comparing with other people that maybe have burned more calories, and I don't like that whole aspect of it.
Okay, that's fair. Also, I tried sleeping with this watch, and it was terrible.
So
like smacking my wife in the head.
Poor girl.
It's not a good idea.
Number 2,
mobile exercise apps. Mobile
exercise apps.
Just apps.
Appetizers?
I wish.
What's your favorite appetizer? Go.
God, that's a tough question. I take a long time to answer these.
Okay, what's your favorite appetizer?
Yours?
I really like some sort of like calamari or something, like a little grilled octopus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think about this and answer later on this.
Okay.
Because that's a tough question.
Mozzarella sticks. I'm just kidding. I haven't had a mozzarella stick.
God. What are you, 7? I was surprised to see how much more popular apps have gotten. Like, I thought that they had peaked a while back because there's so many of them. Yeah. But no, it actually, they just like, I saw the millions of downloads or whatever, and they're like way out there.
Now, what I care about is not the download, because I know a lot of people do this, like download it, do it for a week, and stop. What's the consistency rate?
I have no idea. I have none of that data in front of me. No. All we're going to talk about is from our experience. Is it legit or overhyped?
Okay.
I'm going to say overhyped.
I'm going to 100% say overhyped.
Okay. Explain yourself.
I don't think it covers the most important part of what a fitness routine requires, which is what we say all the time, accountability. Like, I'm sorry, but even if your watch tells you work out, it's so easy to go, nah, as opposed to having an actual like support group or a trainer or somebody. It doesn't cover the bases that the people that are actually in need of guidance, like these apps aren't coaches, they're just apps on your phone.
Yeah, some might say you have a personalized coach. It's really just a cookie cutter AI, maybe AI powered thing that just takes all the answers that you gave in the assessment and then create something quote unquote personalized, which is better than nothing.
100%.
It's better than like a generalized workout.
But it's definitely not for beginners, for starters, because if it's telling you to squat or do RDLs or something that's a little more complicated, how are you going to know you're doing it properly? How are you going to know when to increase your weight? All these little things. Like, there's so many questions left in the air.
This should be called like Cynics Discuss Trends.
Well, I mean, have more optimism on here.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more optimistic than you. I think there's some good. For example, have you heard of what is it called? From couch potato to 5K or couch to 5K? What's that called? You guys know what it is.
Yeah, you guys know.
I've seen a lot of people like have success with that, where it is for beginners. It's for people that don't run, and it's to get them to start running. And
I think that's a different animal. Running is
talking about something.
I was talking about more complex, like compound movements and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that running isn't hard. I'm just saying it's not like something that requires a lot of different
like,
movements.
Hey, you're gonna start by walking, then maybe a little like 30-second run, and then day 2 you're gonna do 40-second. I see what you're saying.
And I'm not completely shitting on the apps. I'm just saying I think they're overhyped, and I think people treat it like a dating app. They'll go on it for 2 weeks and delete it and go on to the next one. That's
for sure, and I agree with you about the accountability. I honestly don't even know what's out there, so I feel like I don't have enough information to have an opinion on it. But I would say that like the biggest limitation is number one, where you said the lack of accountability. I don't care personally how much the phone tells you, hey, don't forget to work out today. Like, I can just ignore all that.
Like the Duolingo little owl comes up and it's like, no has practicado español, and you're like, oh.
It's amazing actually how much you can ignore things these days.
Oh man, I ignore everyone. I mean everything.
It's taken me sometimes like a year of an app reminding me for me to say, why do I have this crap? Delete.
I still get like calendar invites, like send this guy an invoice. I'm like, dude, I haven't trained that guy in 4 years.
I'm gonna steal, man, and see like a good use. I guess it's better than nothing, that's for sure.
100%.
It's probably better than you just taking what an influencer is gonna give you. I would probably trust some of these apps better, especially if they have like an assessment. Like if they're asking you questions about where you're at and what you have access to, I think that's like already a good start.
But I think even like ChatGPT writes better programs than a lot of these influencers.
I know, but you'd be surprised how many people, they don't even use ChatGPT. They don't really
use it, guys.
With it.
Use
but 100%, just take ChatGPT and ask it to be your coach.
Exactly.
Although I will say, small tangent, ChatGPT is like the ultimate hype man these days. And it's starting some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, ChatGPT's been really...
ChatGPT will be like, you're a genius. You should start working out. You're amazing.
I'm honored to be in your presence. What a great question.
Strong, independent, empowered person you are.
Wow, Julian, your forehead's not even that big.
See, that's how I knew it was lying. So, número 3. Exercise for older adults.
Oh, that
100%
great. Yeah,
legit,
awesome.
baby.
We
That's
love
our
that
jam.
We love that. Give your grandparents creatine, make them deadlift.
We're not only talking about grandparents, but yeah.
You said older.
Yeah, you know.
50 like, plus?
I guess that's going to offend some people.
You're almost there.
Almost.
Every episode I age us.
Almost.
Last one I was like, who wants to see 2 40-year-old guys?
But yeah, so strength training and mobility for longevity. Just the whole longevity buzz is
huge.
A big thing right now. And
it's not necessarily Brian Johnson. It's not necessarily that extreme.
It's not the exaggerators,
yeah.
No. We see it here. I mean, we see a lot of our, I would say like 60, 55 plus coming in and asking about mobility, and I want to work out for energy, and I'm thinking about the next few decades of my life. And I think that's fantastic because historically that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Like our grandparents didn't work out a day in their life.
My grandma never touched the weight unless she was like here moving it around or something.
Somehow though, our grandpa could do handstands. Remember that?
Yeah, but that was a different era of just like overall athletic
tomfoolery,
prowess. And but what I was gonna say is I do also love our clients that have been training with us for a while, and then they're like, man, this would be great for my parent, my grandparent. They bring them in. They know the benefits. And I don't think we've had one that isn't ecstatic with the results that their parents or grandparents see.
Yeah, I love this. And I love that that's one of the positive things about social media and the age of information is that now you have no excuse. Everybody knows how important exercise is, strength training, cardio, mobility, especially as you age and for longevity. And I think it's awesome that it's on everybody's radar now.
Yep.
Like you'd have to be, I don't know what kind of person would just like see all that and be like, nah, I'm not going to do all that.
Like testosterone, especially for aging males, bone density for women.
What about women with like postmenopause?
For everything. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like all of that, all of the bone density, mobility, like you said, hip strength, hip mobility, all these things that you lose as you
Fall
age.
prevention.
It's crazy. The pros, I mean, there are no cons. The pros are just so beyond that. Like you said, why would you look at all this and be like, I'm good. I think I'll be
It's like
wheelchair ridden in
the
a few
best
years.
kind of health insurance. It's like the literal health insurance.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, 100%.
100%.
Boom. All right, number 4 is exercise for weight loss. I'm going to go controversial here and say overhyped.
That's a trend? Isn't that just like what people do?
So these are like, when you say trends, it's like when you ask a group of people, what are you exercising for? And 70% of them say for weight loss. Or 70% could say for strength. So
I mean, I could have sworn that was always like, that's what people, general public just
yeah,
works
but
out
for
weight
example,
loss.
like in 2 years, it might say exercise for longevity.
Oh,
that would
great.
be a trend.
That would be great.
Exercise for, I don't know, something different than weight loss.
I would just love to see
like,
how many
that's
years.
not obvious.
How many years has that been on top? Exercise for weight loss.
I don't know.
Must be
but
forever.
That's not what we're talking about.
It
I'm
must
gonna
be
go
forever.
with overhyped. I know it's super controversial, but I'm gonna explain myself.
I don't think it's overhyped, and I want to hear your.
You don't think it's
argument.
overhyped?
I think
Okay.
you're 100% right
What do you mean?
saying it's overhyped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But everybody there's gonna be like, what are you talking about? Literally, everybody that comes in here, I'm not gonna say everybody. 9 out of 10 people, it's like, why are you here? Why did you join this gym?
Yeah.
I need to lose a couple pounds.
Yeah, and we're not saying it's a bad thing, guys. It's not something we're saying, but I think we're all gonna agree with your point. Whereas we always say people should come in with different goals and expectations, and weight loss should just be like kind of like a supplementary thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something different. I don't think that you should work out to lose weight. You can say I need to lose weight, so I'm gonna start working out. That's not what I'm saying, and I don't want to confuse people. But working out, you should work out for other purposes, and then the weight loss comes through other lifestyle things that you do. So what I'm trying to say is, if you change nothing about your life and you just start working out, you may lose weight, but you also may not. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think you should work out to get stronger, to gain more muscle mass, to improve bone mineral density, to improve mobility, all these other things that are independent. And then you should work on your nutrition, lifestyle, other things if you want that weight loss aspect of it. Does that make sense? Believe it or not, the science shows, and I know we're trainers, so I don't know if I should be saying this, but exercise alone is not a great weight loss modality. Like, they've literally done research on people and like, here, start working out. And it's like, oh yeah, you got stronger, you gained muscle, didn't really lose that much weight.
And we see it.
Exactly.
We see it all the time.
I'm sure you've seen it.
We see it all the time
If
with
you
the
don't get
people
your
that-
diet together, no weight loss is gonna happen.
And then you do something as minute as like cut out alcohol with your strength, and you lose a ton of weight.
All of a sudden, stop
Yeah.
eating sweets. All of a sudden, you lose
Yeah,
weight.
you change one little thing in your lifestyle, like you said, that's apart from the working out, and that's when you start seeing the weight loss.
And the other reason that I wouldn't work out to lose weight is because then you run into the whole calorie thing. Oh, I ate a donut, that's 180 calories, so I need to get on the treadmill and burn 180 calories and do that
Those mental gymnastics.
That math
Yeah.
that doesn't ever actually work out.
Yeah.
And again, I think that it should be two separate things. I work out to get stronger and gain muscle, and then I'm gonna eat and work on my lifestyle habits if I do want that weight loss aspect of it. But the working out itself is kind of independent of that.
Agreed.
Plus, I think you should be working out whether you want to lose weight or not. So
Agreed. Yeah, like I used to get that question all the time because I was always a skinny kid and grew up skinny. I was like, "You're already skinny. Why are you working out?" And I'm like, I mean, how many times do I have to answer that question?
yeah. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to be said about that. But I think that's gonna surprise people that we don't think it's legit, especially as trainers.
Well, guys.
I mean, it is legit. It's just, and I don't think that, like what you're saying, I don't think it's ever gonna get to the point where people are gonna be like, I'm gonna go join a gym or get a personal trainer not to lose weight, to do all these
Yeah.
other things,
Rare is it.
That's just,
we always say it, like when somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh, I want to work out just to get stronger overall, my lifestyle to improve my overall lifestyle." We're like, "Oh, wow, that's different."
I will say though that I think that with the rise of Ozempic and the others, that now a lot of people got the weight loss part down, and now what they're struggling with is, I'm losing too much muscle.
Yeah.
I'm not strong. I'm
Yep.
weak. I'm flabby. So now I think we're gonna have a wave of people coming in saying, I'm already losing weight, but I'm losing too much muscle. I don't really like the way that I look, so I need to work on my strength and my muscle, which I think is golden.
It's great, and we're, like we talked about in the past. We're not against these things
For sure.
We're just trying for people to be healthier, happier
I'm
human
super
beings.
pro all that stuff.
Yeah.
Number 5 is traditional strength training. I love seeing this stuff on the list, huh?
Wow.
I love it. This one has been up there for a while, actually. So
And climbing.
I don't know about that. It's been up there for a while.
I just said it was up there.
I'm just glad that it's on top of the next one, which I won't disclose right now.
Don't say it yet.
So legit.
The most legit.
Yeah, super legit.
Too legit to quit.
Need we say more?
Just, guys.
It's awesome.
We talk about it every day. Your traditional movements, your compound movements, stick to them, get better at them. Lift heavy weights, progressive overload,
and
yada, yada, yada.
This is where, like, the trends that you were talking about in the beginning, where people will go through that, like, the hero's journey of these stupid trends, and they'll end right back where? Traditional strength training, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
You don't. That's what I'm saying.
Muscles only, like they respond to, we already know what they respond to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do your 6, basic movements, master that, and lift heavier.
Progressive overload,
be
and
consistent,
you're golden.
and you're good to go. Like, that's...
And sprinkle everything else that you want to do on the side. But this is just a staple, so
The
I don't think
ultimate
we should
trend.
even spend more time on it.
Agreed.
All right. Next is high intensity interval training, aka HIIT, which I'm glad. I can guarantee you, I don't know, but I can guarantee you that this was like number 1 or number 2 a few years ago.
Yeah, I think I saw it up there, like 2022 or something like that.
Yeah. What's your take? I'm gonna say, okay, go.
Super overrated.
Super overrated.
Yeah.
Overhyped.
I know. Sometimes we should disagree a little more so we could have some more discourse, but can't help it.
I mean, we know the truth. This is
can't handle
gospel.
it. You guys can't handle the truth.
Podcast.
And if it offends you, you can't handle the truth. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think that HIIT has hit its popularity, its peak.
I was waiting for it.
I swear I didn't do that on purpose.
I was waiting for it. I didn't want it. I can't take it. I can't take it.
That was a dad joke.
What's the problem with HIIT?
So
what's your beef with HIIT?
The thing with HIIT is that it became so popular that you had a flurry of businesses that popped up all over the world, literally,
A McFlurry.
based solely on HIIT. Like, we're just gonna get as much done, get the heart rate up, get as many exercises, pack them into as little time as possible, and that's our entire business model. Neglecting the last trend that we just talked about, which is traditional strength training, which is where your real gains come in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying HIIT is useless. It does have its merits, and I think that it can be super effective, but should it be your entire training protocol? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a side dish than a main meal. It's definitely more like that's how
exactly
you should
right. Yup. Should we say why?
Go ahead.
So muscles need rest. It's as simple as that. So the whole idea of I don't think people think enough about this. Is something that only trainers, like experienced trainers and exercise physiologists, think about. Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Why are you exercising? And one of the reasons is I'm trying to build muscle, right? That's one reason. You don't build muscle without resting.
Or without progressive overload. Two things that you're neglecting.
Exactly. So if you understood how the body works, then you would be like, oh, okay, I need to strain myself and work really hard on this set for, 8 to 20 repetitions. Take a break, let my muscles and my energy system recover, do it again. What happens is when you do it back to back to back to back like that, you stop, like the muscles reach their peak, you start overcompensating by using other muscles, faulty movement patterns. Now you base your energy systems that you should be using, and now you're using more of an aerobic energy system. It just doesn't work as well. There's a reason why bodybuilders train the way that they train. They're the best in the world at gaining muscle and losing fat.
Now, if somebody were to say, oh, but I don't want to build muscle, I'm just trying to lose fat, and that's why I do all this without resting, I feel like I'm losing more fat.
Yeah, that's a great misconception that I hope we've talked about enough on this podcast, but if you haven't heard other episodes, shame on you, then you would realize that your goal is to build muscle, not to look like a bodybuilder. You're never going to look like a bodybuilder by accident.
No.
It's still, when we say build muscle, is as you lose fat, hold on to the muscle that you have, or in best case, build a little bit. Look lean.
Yeah. And it's not like you're going to get huge traps, ladies. You're not going to get that. It's like you're going to get, well-defined.
A slimmer physique. That's not
more
flabby.
Exactly.
That's it.
Another kind of thing that I've seen a lot is men tend to be more lean towards the traditional strength training by default, kind of, because we like to go heavy, and then take like a 2-minute break, and that's organic. Without knowing any of the science, take a big break. So I can lift that really heavy thing again. Women tend to go for lighter weights, rest less. They're more like, okay, I'm ready to go for my next set. And why do you think
that's
phenomenon
a
is?
really good point, and one part of the answer is physiological. Women actually require less rest in between sets. There's good science to prove that. So that's, when I found that out, I'm like, wow, it makes perfect sense, because we see it in our classes all the time. As far as psychologically why you would want that, I think that is exactly what you said, is the misconception that the harder
Big
that I
weight,
go,
big muscle.
the more that I'm breathing heavy and sweating, that equals more fat loss, which
And
is
then-
completely wrong. Like, it's hard to change somebody's mind. Like, when you get a new client and you tell them, a new client that's been working out, and you tell them, no, we rest here.
Yeah.
It's very hard to change that person's mind because they like that go. They like to feel like they're
okay,
dying.
I feel like I'm not gassed. Like I had a bad workout.
Yep.
And then I also think they attribute it to bigger weights equals bigger muscles. So if I squat that big heavy goblet, I'm gonna look like a dude basically.
Yeah.
And then
Both misconceptions.
Exactly.
But I think, again, I think that it's trending so that women now get it. And I'll give them credit, female influencers that are like preaching the right things. It's no longer about this little HIIT workout with the glute
With the band, yeah.
and then you're gonna build your glutes at home. No, come on, like we know better now. Women are lifting heavy,
hip thrusting heavy,
They're doing heavy lifts and they look slim and thin and lean.
snatched.
So
That's not a bad word.
I don't know what that means, but it didn't sound good.
Their
Snatched.
body is T. You never heard that?
Maybe. I don't hang out around cool people too much.
Emma, do you know what it means when
Especially
somebody says her body is T? Yeah. See, she knows. You don't know? Emma's so out of touch. Jesus Christ. You know what it means when you're snatched? No, you're lying. God, you're lying.
What a bad liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, Maya.
All right, so I think we've talked enough about HIIT.
What was the number again? Oh, okay, I was hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overrated.
I don't even know about the numbers anymore. I'm just going in order here.
Overrated.
Okay, so
Number
7.
Yep.
Data-driven training tech.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
So this kind of ties into the wearables a little bit.
Yeah.
But to me, this means more like
Taking action?
They're using like for athletes, and it's funny because somebody walked in this morning, a physical therapist, like telling us about his program, which is all about data-driven tech. Like, hey, we measure actual strength output, we measure all these kinds of things, and that gives you like the data of like objectively how much have you improved.
Yeah.
It's no guessing game. It's not just about how much weight can you lift.
Which, I mean, do you really need like fancy technology, or do you just need a proper coach or a proper accountability tool to tell yourself, I deadlifted 110 last week and this week I did 120?
I think
You know what
this
I mean? Like-
has a lot to do with personality types. I think some people love the data. Like some people love like a nice like line graph of their progress and exactly. We have clients that write down all their numbers.
Yep.
Even though we don't write down literally everything you do. We write down the important things. But they go in and they write down, no, on Monday, April 28th,
I warmed up with 30,
Yeah,
and I did 40.
And they like to see, they'll even like plot it in the graph. So I think some people are very motivated by that kind of stuff. Whereas some people like you and I, again, we see eye to eye in here. It's like, I don't really need to know exactly what my data was. If I got my workout in and it felt good and I'm seeing gains, I'm happy with that.
Happy, yeah. And you feel it like, oh, I had a good workout, or today I felt like shit. Today I was weak. I had a drink last night and I didn't sleep well. Whatever it may be, you kind of have that idea. So I don't want to say overrated, but I'm like teetering between.
I would also say the caveat here is that we don't really train a lot of athletes. And
Yeah.
I think if you train athletes,
That's a
this
different
is
animal.
huge
That's
for
a different
you.
animal, agreed.
They're looking at your vertical. They're looking at your 40-yard dash. Like they need very
And
specific data.
they're in a field that, 0.02 seconds affects whether you win or lose. So
whether you're making millions of dollars or not, whether you
So,
get drafted or not.
that's why I don't want to say overrated, because in those fields, it's perfectly rated. It's legit.
Yeah. For
but
Gen
I don't think
Pop, it might be.
I think for Gen Pop, like, who cares about your data if your consistency sucks? You know what I mean? Like, just be consistent, show up, and I think that's better than
you can
tracking
also
your
fall into
specific.
the trap where you're like overly cerebral, where you're one of those people that like everything's data, and it's like just fucking work
Just
out,
work
bro.
out. Just work out. And then,
Like you're analyzing and spending all this time, and then that affects your actual working out. Or they'll like
or if
analyze
your numbers aren't where they
forever.
want to be, then what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh damn, my bar graph kind of plateaued, my line graph plateaued.
Well,
Like,
they'll say that's what I know. I have to go and iterate and make changes.
but let's say that you don't do that. It just kind of affects you. It affects your psyche. Like, is that
or
necessarily
worse,
a good thing?
it stops you from continuing.
Yeah, like,
because,
what's
I'm
the
not
point?
seeing. But I'm gonna say legit just for the athletic
For the
purposes.
sake of the athletes, yeah, that's why I'm
No.
teetering between legit and overhyped. Between
I think most people don't even
what's
have
the
to
third
worry
one we
about
had?
this.
It was legit, overhyped, or
needs context.
so I think that was a needs context.
Okay. Exercising for mental health.
Huge,
Underrated.
severely.
Not only is it
It's too low on the
legit,
list.
It's too but it's in there, top
Yeah,
10.
good.
Like
That's great. I was actually gonna mention that when you mentioned all the benefits that we were talking about, but then I remember we had it coming, so I didn't want to bring it up early. But that's definitely one of the most underlooked facets of fitness, I would say.
Yeah. We talked about it before. We've done a few podcasts on just mental health, but what we found from our gym experience is that people come into the gym to lose weight, to look a certain way, to get strong. They stay for the most part because of psychological, mental health reasons. They stay because it's really good for relieving stress. They feel better the days that they work out. And it's these mental health gains that keeps them coming back.
Yep.
Because after a certain point, maybe you reached your physical goal, or
Yeah.
maybe you've realized that, you know what? I'm not going to stop eating ice cream and drinking wine on the weekends. I'm never going to be that lean person that I had in my head.
Yeah.
However, I still love working out. It makes me feel really good. And that's more of an enough of a reason to do it.
We have so many people that come in and are like, man, you have no idea how much I needed this today, or like, this place keeps me sane. You come in here, you just, talk to people that are like-minded, you get along with, you're lifting weights, which we know all the positive effects that it has psychologically. So I do think it's severely underrated.
And I think that there's a reason, there's a connection between, like, when you're suffering from mental health issues, you tend to be sedentary, whereas when you're like thriving and doing good and feeling good, you tend to be more
You're consistent
active.
with your workouts, your walks. You're doing a lot more. Like, you're outside more. All these type of things.
So
Agreed.
anyway, yeah, underrated, legit. Let's keep it going up in the trends.
Bump it up to number 2.
Number 9, a slightly controversial term in the fitness industry, but you guys don't know about that. Only trainers do. Functional fitness training. I was surprised to see this at number 9.
I think this one is, and the functional fitness community is going to kill me, but I think it's overrated.
No anymore.
I think it's overrated just because of how often the word is tossed around to the point that's been bastardized, in my opinion.
Just so you guys know, which you probably don't, but that the word functional fitness, like, fitness professionals roll their eyes unless it's your whole shtick, because it's a word that has been watered down tremendously, and it means different things to different people. So we've kind of gotten to a point where, like, we used to use the word because it is kind of what we do. We do fitness that translates to a better, like, quality of life outside of the gym.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. That functional fitness kind of varies per person. Like, what your function, like, we do what you would call, I guess, like, human function, like
see, I don't
picking up
think
things
so.
from the
I
floor.
would disagree with that.
I'm saying it because, let's say if you're a firefighter and I'm a freaking, what do you call those people that push the little sleds, and I'm a bobsledder. We have vastly different functions. So your function might not be my same function. You have more carrying over, holding heavy things. My function might be working in a different plane. So that's why I say we do function for general, Homo sapien functionality.
But my argument would be that our type of training, or if you do, like, the right training,
translates to everything.
Everything. Like, the bobsled guy's going to be better. The firefighter's also going to be better. However, you still need to, like, you're giving extreme examples. If you have a job or a career that requires very specific things, like, by all means, do specific training for that. But I still think that quote-unquote functional fitness, which is just traditional strength training and some free weights and that kind of stuff,
with mobility added,
is going to help everybody. It's going to help the golfer, and it's going to help the bobsledder.
I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever. That's why I'm saying that the word itself is overused. So functional fitness, like you said, it's just strength training with mobility. It's things that make your life easier, picking up things from the floor.
Yeah, traditional strength training is functional.
Exactly.
Is the whole point, right?
Exactly. So
and here's the problem with the word, is that it was bastardized by people that turned functional fitness into this, like, circus act. You stand on a Bosu ball, you're juggling. You're not really juggling, but you're standing on a Bosu ball,
picking up something from the floor,
picking something unstable, and everything needs to be unstable. There was this one guy that I won't say the name that had professional athletes like LeBron James doing stuff on a
stability ball,
lateral raises
on a stability ball.
It was like kneeling down on the ball and doing, like, something crazy,
before
and it was like, because the stabilizers, and it's like, there's no actual research that shows that that's any better than just standing up and doing a lateral raise and not risking that $20 million athlete.
What I was going to say is, you're going to have an elite athlete. You think that guy's stabilizers really need
100%.
that little minimal thing that you're doing on the stability ball? No, man. They're doing so many other things that are affecting that area.
8 of the 10 best strength coaches in the world would agree with our stance, which is give that guy, that elite athlete, a good traditional strength training program with progressive overload, and it's going to be better, more bang for your buck than all that clown shit.
You're wasting time.
Exactly.
And it's all this valuable time that you could be
risky.
using, to, like we said, probably strengthen or to recover, because we talk about recovery for athletes all the time.
Yep.
You could be doing that instead of warming up before a game on a stability ball doing lateral raises. Like, no coman tanta mierda.
And I also think that it was used by fitness influencers who wanted to break out of the mold and get more views, like the Joel Seedmans of the world, which is just like, I know this is gonna give me a lot more views, and if I make up if I make up some like smart sounding stuff, the audience would think that I'm so smart and I'm doing something revolutionary. Yeah. In reality, it's like there's no actual evidence that that's better. So, overhyped.
Overhyped, and the word means nothing to me anymore. Also, your watch has a functional strength training thing.
What does that even mean?
There's a traditional strength and functional strength. I'm like, okay, whatever, use whichever one, I guess. Same thing.
What I use it for, and this is just what I think that the watch means, is that traditional strength training, and when it's more rest intervals, stuff like that, I use that. When I'm doing more of a circuit training, then I'll use functional. But again, it doesn't mean anything, and I don't give a beep about the calories. So.
No, you shouldn't. And you shouldn't either, guys. Nice tattoo.
Wow. That guy's got to be here for Romy.
He must. No, he's going next door to work. God, those jeans are too tight, buddy.
Very tight and no butt.
Very tight jeans, buddy.
Yeah.
Look at his wallet pops up on his butt does. Let's preface this by saying we might disagree, and also by saying this one was not on our list of things to look up for. So this is going to be improvised by both of us. Hit me.
It's health and wellness coaching.
What does that mean?
What does it even mean?
What does that mean
so it means coaching beyond I'm writing you an exercise program or I'm doing your macros for you. That was very like, I'm taking care of one part of your lifestyle. This is more for the person that's more of like a concierge that is looking at your entire, from mental health to work-related stress to your sleeping patterns, kind of everything, to even just like your self-talk. It actually requires a little bit more training on the part of the coach, which is going to be that's going to be my critique, is that I don't think a lot of people are qualified to give wellness coaching. However, I'm still going to go with legit.
I'm going to say legit too. I'm sorry.
I disagree.
No, I wanted to disagree, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on the fact that just because, you took 5 yoga classes and you like being in the sun and you eat granola doesn't make you qualified to be my wellness coach. Like you said, it takes a lot of more psychological studying, like all these understanding of the human psyche. I feel like a lot of people aren't prepared to take on that role.
So the big caveat here is, if you're gonna have a wellness coach, they have to be very qualified. Like, look for the right one. 100%. If you look for the right one, this is 100% legit.
And of course, if you can afford it and it's not something that's completely out of your why not have somebody making these facets of your life a little easier, like helping guide you in the right direction if you need that help.
And let's face it, most people, they don't only need, here's the right program.
Yeah.
It's way deeper than that. It's psychology, it's self-talk, it's
sleeping habits.
There's so many things that go beyond. I think everybody that starts as a personal trainer quickly realizes that, oh wow, exercise and nutrition is just one part of the equation. So, and I will say, for those trainers who think they could do this, you're not qualified. No. Go and take a few courses on psychology, like cognitive behavioral therapy, that kind of stuff, because I follow people that are good at this, and it's a whole nother language that they're speaking that you and I wouldn't really know, because psychology is not easy. I mean, people get PhDs in that stuff.
No, and I try to, teeter that line, because clients will ask you for help in that area, and you have to make sure you tell them, like, look, this is not my area of expertise, but I'll gladly, you ask your clients how they slept, how their weekend was, what they do on weekends. This is like a step further than that. So I don't want to dive into that area if I feel like I'm not ready to help you in that regard.
For sure, but I think that's the humility of us being experienced in this, that your limits. The same way that we wouldn't diagnose somebody with an injury, right? Because we're not physical therapists, we're not
I can tell you, there's so many things going on in your knee. I'm not even
exactly. I'm going to refer you out. Yeah. And it's the same thing with this. And yes, I think there's something very valuable in just being someone that you can listen to your clients' issues and what they're struggling with. And I think just listening is powerful. Yep. Now, when it comes to like intervening, like giving you an intervention, that you have to be cautious with. But we know the basics. It's just that I'm telling you, this goes way deeper than that.
Yeah.
I know.
Still, I would say not overrated. I think it's
legit.
Yeah, I think it's legit. You just got to do your research and pick the right one.
Yeah, so we can post the entire article, because there was more than 10. There was 20 of the top trends. I don't think any of you would be interested, but let us know if you found this episode entertaining. Let us know if you disagree or agree with us about our opinions on some of these trends.
Which one was most surprising for you to see in the top 10?
In the top 10, probably functional fitness.
I can't believe that's still in there. Like, that seems like something that was like so 4 years ago.
I was surprised that fitness programs for older adults was number 3.
That's awesome.
Number 3.
That's surprising in a good way.
That's also
I'm
like
so happy
there's a
about
lot
that.
of boomers, right? Like, aren't they like overrepresented?
Yeah.
So maybe that's a reason why like there's
That's why they're
more
called
people,
boomers.
and they're also yeah, right. And they're also like with the rise of people like Peter Attia and these kind of guys and Brian Johnson, some of those guys.
And
like they're
this age, that age, using more social media now, their eyes are open to, oh man, people my age are really doing this and they're seeing results.
What a business opportunity for people that are tapping into that market. That's a whole nother.
Yep. With that being said,
Make an
guys,
app. Let's make an app for old Peter Attia. If you're listening to this, which I know you probably are,
we'll make an app.
Let's make an app together.
Fitbook, and it has the same logo as Facebook, and we'll figure out the kinks. Don't worry, guys. See you next week on another episode of the Be Fit Brothers
Podcast. Share this with your friends. Let's blow this thing up.
Share this with your enemies. Share this with your enema.
Don't let me forget my sweaty clothes.